dollars 3 years ago, and then now you change, you automatically become a millionaire, just simple, just simple, without like Belaiso, that Yoruba, without any, just sitting down, you have become a millionaire. So I think it's a very good session. And also, males, when bro Femi was talking about males, males are really very, Amaka and all the people working with me, they know that. So now when I want to sell me, I can use 30 minutes composing 7 lines of 7 lines of anime. Show you where you're correct. Should frame should that, but then I never thought about using Chat GPT to compose meals. I'm always looking for shortcuts. So if I'm any example today, I said just for I will stop bothering myself. I want to write a mail now. I just go and look for ChatGPT to help me. We can't use it people use it for research, but if they catch you, it's a problem. So I don't even go near it. But if it is to write mails and all that, I say, or reports, I said, fantastic. I think that's a good one. So I think all these sessions have really been very helpful. And I want to say that don't let's just be the hearer alone. Let's go and see how we can apply all these things to whatever you do. And don't postpone it. Maybe you get home, start making decisions. Okay, this area, I want to do this. Because by the time you wait 1 week, 2 weeks, issues of life will take over, and then you just forget everything. So once you get home today, just try and put it down, things you want to do, start making lines on what you want to do. So this morning we'll be looking at career development and exploration. Amaka designed these PowerPoints. Can you help me appreciate her? No, she did it. I've had the slides before, but while coming from Lagos yesterday, I was so tired. I just gave her the laptop. I said, do the slides. And then I just improved on the slides. So we're looking at career development and exploration. I think it's something I've taken before. So let's look at it. Whatever career you have, why that career path? Why did you choose that career path? You should be able to ask yourself, why did I choose this career path? I'm in teaching. Why are you in teaching? Is it because there's no job? Is it out of necessity? Is it out of passion? Or is it what is available? You must be able to, that's one of the questions you must be able to answer. Why did you choose that career path? And really, I must say that in choosing a career path, there are certain things, we've talked about career exploration and development. There are certain things that are very important when you are choosing your career path. So one of the things you should know is to get to know yourself. You should know what are your goals. I think the first important thing is for you to have a sense of direction. So you should know what exactly do I want? Where am I going? So, for example, I look at myself when I studied medicine, but when trying to look at what direction do I want to go in medicine, I knew that I can never be a surgeon. It was not an option for me. And there were reasons why I didn't want to be a surgeon, because it was time consuming. I felt the way they used to call them at odd hours, the way they were also stereotyped, I felt that life was not flexible enough and all that. So when I felt for a woman, for family life, it might, especially during training, it might put a bit of strain on family life. Raising your children and being in surgery residency can be a bit challenging. So for me, it was not an option. Then I wanted something that was not, in quotes, typically doctor. I know that surgeons are typical doctors. So the first thing for you is to also know a sense of that. So if, for example, if you're someone that doesn't know how to talk, you are not relational, you don't know how to, you are an introvert, what are you doing in marketing? You know that you don't like talking, you are a shy person, you don't have good communication skills, you don't know how to, you are not persuasive, you easily yield, so if somebody says, could buy 2,000, tell them I had a job, 1,000 money, you find that you just doing an NGO. You understand? So I used to make a joke that if I have a private hospital, I'm not going to make money. I said, because it would be like an NGO. Except I get an administrator to run the place for me. So you should have a sense of direction. Then you should weigh the options you have. So even when you already know, okay, I think I'm more inclined to things like this, then you spread your net and look at the options you have, and then you weigh them. What are your values? So what are things that are of topmost important to you? Family, just like I said, when I was trying to choose what area I want to do, family was very important. So even though surgery is more lucrative, you make more money and everything, more prestigious, even in the medical parlance, you have more money and all that. But for me then, family was of utmost priority, especially for after training, you are free. But during those training years, those 6 years, and it was actually the time also I was building my family, as in it was my reproductive age. I felt that it wasn't something I could, I had to look for other career opportunities. So you should weigh your career options. What are the options you have? So you should know that. Then you should take time to reflect upon the opportunities that are available in that field. So for example now, sorry, I'll be using myself a lot because I'm more familiar. So for example, I love public health when I was in med school. So it was a career path I would have loved to choose. But then, things are, now that everybody has finished Jack Mine, there are more opportunities now. But then, when you are doing when you want to do the exams to get into residency training, feels like public health, to be seeing 500 doctors writing the exam. When they want to do interview in UCH for residency, you see about 150, 200 doctors coming for a space of maybe 8 or 10 doctors. And you see them, people getting letters from presidency, from all that. So I just hear myself brain that as much as I love this field, I know that it might be difficult to get a space. I was just very realistic with myself, because I know that it takes a lot of legwork. Of course, then I didn't finish from UI, and I wanted to enter UCH. So I know that there were a lot of things to consider. So I didn't say, oh, this is what I love, or whatever. I saw people that had primaries for years, and they could not enter into residency. So I just said, okay, fine. The opportunity, my chances of getting into training in this area is very stable, except I want to move outside Ibadan. And I wasn't ready to move outside Ibadan. So I had to now change to another field. Though, of course, I love psychiatry. So psychiatry too was also, it was either public health or psychiatry. So I just said, okay, let me just do psychiatry. So you should also look at the opportunities that are available. Sorry, so for example, I don't really like mentioning names, but I know if the person listens, I'm talking about her. So for example, now, if, let's say like someone that did psychology, and in psychology, there are different aspects of psychology. So you have clinical psychology, you have human psychology, you have about 4 industrial psychology, forensic psychology, and all of that. The same thing with antibiotic sociology. They have medical sociology, industrial sociology, demographic sociology, and all that. So, and there are different opportunities. If you're outside the country, you don't have a problem. Industrial shows. How many companies we employ industrial sociologists? How many companies in Nigeria? You understand what I'm trying to say? So, so these are courses. So, but in all these fields as well, there are different opportunities based on our community. Even outside the country, there are, even outside the country, I was still told that medical sociology is still number 1, then followed by industrial sociology. So now can I say, that when they were teaching me the course I like most, like my friend, the course I like, which is the one sorry that I'm using that example, but it's good to be practical. What you picked? Industrial social. That's what I really, really like. Then you're not going to do it. But the truth is that when you finish, what are the opportunities, what are the job opportunities available? So sometimes the way the opportunity is might not really be what you really, really, really like. that might, so sometimes you have to sometimes weigh those. I tell people when you are choosing, especially postgraduate, when you're choosing courses, it's good to know where do you want to live in Nigeria or you want to live outside the country. But some people pick some and say, Nigeria lo fair be outside the country. If it is in this Nigeria, it will take a miracle. It's not as if it is not possible, but it will be the opportunities are not. How will I put it? They are not really there. So please, when you are choosing even our career paths, you are getting skills, depending on where you want to live, look at the opportunities that are available so that you can make the right decision. So, for example, I didn't know she chose industrial sociology. If I had known she was leaving me, I would have used veto power for her to do medical sociology because there are more opportunities here and even outside the country for medicine. It's like a great, it's like one of the, we call them paramedical courses that are reigning now. Has a lot of opportunities, in medical sociology now. As in, you understand. Whereas in Nigeria, industrial sociology is not. No, it's not. You understand. So it's always good to weigh, to reflect upon the opportunities that are available. In your field. Then, and then, of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't consider your preferences. You should consider your preferences and your preferences. So that, but you have to weigh your opportunities, your preferences, and then also look at the talents you have. Look at what talents do I have, and then you now look at the demands of the career. So there are a lot of things you need to really put into place. So, for example, I say if you are someone that wants to go into, you like agric, your passion is agric. Oh, I want to be the food basket of the nation, and all of that. You have to. That's a passion. You might even have all the skills, but apart from that, do you have the resilience? Do you have the ability to suffer the loss that is? Because some people have had it and they've had stroke. It's true because that field is associated. Ask Joshua Nabi. There's a whole lot of pressure, risk that are associated with that field. So, are you sure that you have what it takes to venture into it? Do you have the resilience? Do you have the capability? Do you have the support, the backbone? So that if you run into debt, you have family that can run after you, can like cushion things up for you. Do you have backup plans? Do you have a spouse that is working, that even when money is not coming from it, that can so what I'm trying to say is that when you are, don't just be stereotyped in when it comes to choosing your career path. There are a lot of things to I know that people will say, oh, follow your passion, but you see, our Nigeria it's true, follow your passion, but sometimes you have to really consider so many things, your opportunities available, even your personality, the kind of personality that you have. If you're someone that you need to be pushed before you do things, just go and take a salary job. Because it will be difficult for you to push a business. Sincerely, I tell some people, your flair, the kind of your person, you can't do business. You need somebody that will put you under pressure and say you have to get to work by 9. Don't affiliate it till you need 12 before you go to. Business will not thrive in that particular way. So you should also know. How would I put it? You should know some of the talents, the things that you have, and then of course you look at the demands and benefits of whatever career path that you are taking. I tell people that it's good to follow your passion, but you also need money to pay your bills. So you should know the benefits that are also associated with whatever career path you are choosing. So you don't say, no, you don't choose career because of money. How will you pay your bills? Of course, I know don't choose career but there has to be some form of balance. Whatever you're doing should be able to pay your bills. As in, they should have some benefits. Even NGO, even if you're doing NGO, there are benefits with NGO. There's some money you will still make on the long run if you do the NGO thing very well. So we should count the costs of whatever we want to do. And just like the Bible says that who wants to build a house and does not first of all sit down and then this thing has gone off. So then, okay, I think I've talked about this. You should get to know yourself, your goals, your aptitude, your personality. I've talked about all those things. So does it fit into you pursuing a career in that field? So as to avoid what? Frustration later in time. Sometimes you have to make best of what you have. So sometimes something might not really be what is your passion, but that is probably what is visible and practicable at that particular time. So maybe some of you found yourself in a career path that you don't really like. As in, it is not, someone like me, I didn't want to do medicine. Probably I wanted to do computer. That was, but my dad felt that computer was typing, was business center. That was his whole idea of computer science, computer. So, I don't know why it is going off. It's okay. So if you found yourself in a particular career path, maybe it's not really what you want to do, then you now really have to know how you can, but you found yourself there. So you now have to look for a way, what is the best thing I can make out of this career path that I found myself. So your career path should actually be viewed as a journey. So you start from somewhere and it ends somewhere. Every career definitely has an end. So you should know where you want to start from. You should know might not have the full picture of what the end of your career path should be, but you should have an idea of, okay, by the time maybe I want to retire by 70, I want to retire by 80, I should be in my career, I should be at this particular stage. This is where I envisage to be by the time I'm stepping down, from whatever you are doing. So you start from somewhere. So you should have a vision. You should be able to visualize your career path. Just like the Bible says that as far as your eyes can see. When they wanted to give Abraham, tell him what he was going to inherit, they told him that he should lift his eyes up. As far as he can see, that is what he was going to possess. So the same thing also. Who is doing the Toby? Are you listening? I've moved past this space. So that people can follow. So you should visualize your career path should be like a vision. You should have a vision. So don't just be, I'm not ambitious, I don't have anything. God is my future. Yes, I know God is your future. Okay, what I see in the future is God. I see nothing but God. Yes, we know God is your future, but God is not abstract. And God also wants to use whatever we are doing also as a means, to express himself. So in terms of your career, you should have a picture, a vision, something clear. Might not be the full picture, but at least something that is very clear in your point. And like I said, once you view your career, not as a survival means, but as a path, it gives a mentality that makes you know that you're on a journey. Most people don't see their career as a journey, as a path. They just see that something that just brings money for me to be able to pay my bills and all of that. But you should see your career as a path. It is like a journey. And when it is like that, you cannot afford to stay at one point. You will find out that since you're on a move, you find out that at each point you keep improving yourself. You keep adding to yourself so that you can get to wherever you are going. Some people, I look at some people, and even in my place of work, I look at some people, they've been, what they call them, they've been clerks. Clerical officers for years, for 35 years. They started with, they were employed maybe primary school, living certificate, and for 35 years, they've just been carrying files. And then they retire carrying files. And at the same time, I've seen people in that same hospital they entered as clerical staff. They primary 6, they were able to do GCE. They passed GCE. They went to UI, this same UI. Some of them, they even did part-time, maybe OSU and all that. And they've been able to shift, to change, because even in UC, they do conversion for them. So you can enter as a clerical officer. If you have more certificate, they give them the opportunity to convert. They convert to something more senior. I know a lady that when I entered residency in 2008, she was a cleaner. She was a cleaner. Today, she works in one of the offices where they do all these safety and protocol, whatever that goes on inspection. So apparently, within the period when she was doing, they were serving as all these ward orderly, rather. She did part-time, went to the university, did some, went to some of these, their school of hygiene, whatever, did the two simultaneously, and was able to convert. So, but I'm very sure that when she took that job as a ward orderly, she must have had a vision of where, if I knew that she had changed, was that I just started seeing her wearing suits, and then as she had changed, she was wearing wedge. I said, Auntie Yoga, I started seeing her hair, the way she was dressing. Of course, she would still respect her, Dr. Ekpele, but I thought the way she even greeted me was different from the way she greeted me before. So I said, Dr. Ekpele, I shall see on the person. So one day I now went to the unit. That was how I saw her in the office. So now to ask, that's how that she had converted, that she actually went back to school and she did. So what I'm trying to tell us is that when you see career as a journey, you don't stay at home, no matter what your age. Says it is late. There is nothing too late. It's late. It's too late now. I can't do anything again. No, so you cannot afford to stay at one point. Then, and the biblical perspective to this is that the kingdom is always on the increase. You see, of the increase of his government, of his peace, there shall be no end. You see that there's nothing about God that is stagnant, that is static. Everything about God is always what? Increasing. That is the nature. And so if you are made in his image, that's why when God made man, he blessed him. He said he should what? He should increase. He should multiply. So that is our genetic code. Increase, multiplication, addition. So you shouldn't be satisfied being on one point. Where you were 3 years ago is still the same place you were. In your work, the same certificate you've had 5 years ago is still the only. When you write your CV, nothing has changed in your CV than I've now worked 4 years working experience. Nothing has. You don't understand. The only thing that have changed is the working experience. Let me look for one school. For Rogi High School. Now, before 4 years ago, it was 2020, 2004, 2020, 2021. Now we are in 2024. The only thing that has improved in your CV is not a working experience. For Rogi High School, 2021 to 2024. That's the only thing that has improved. That is not the nature of the kingdom. The kingdom is always what? On the increase. You see, say addition, multiplication, subdue, dominate. These are what? Expansive terms. What did I say? These are expansive terms. So that's one thing about God, about our nature. We should be expansive. So that's why I said, no, I was still challenging Dami. I said, this is your perfume business. Bag yi kan, no nothing bela ti bi odun meji to different type perfume yi. As you said, where do you want to start the people that are selling to you? There's a way they are making it. When do you want to become a supplier? At least you're buying from somewhere. We must start thinking that way. Expansive. In our thinking. So, and the same thing also we must bring that into our career. Ourselves. So we're going to do a short exercise quickly. I want you to get a biro and a pen. And I want you to look at your job, whatever you are doing now. And you're going to answer it. It's because so that you don't forget when you get home. It's because you're going to build on it. You should ask yourself, the job you are doing now, does it have a career path? And when I mean a career path is that, does it have a future? Whatever you are doing now, either business, some of us are, you have businesses and then you are working somewhere. So you have two answers to give. So for maybe your salary job, and then maybe for your business, look at it. Does my job have a career path? So you should first of all answer that one. Then number 2, ask yourself, what is the future of this career that I have chosen? You should be able to answer that. What is the future of this career path that I have chosen? Initially when I started working, and I became a consultant, when you're working in the hospital, because you're working with the Ministry of Health, they pay you more. They actually pay you more. But after a while, I had the decision of having to cross to UI. And doing you, of course, we still combine the two. But even when you combine the two, as a lecturer and as an hospital consultant, the money is still not up to what you will earn as a full hospital consultant. It's just like 2/3 of that. So it was going to be, of course, it was a drop in salary. Of course, at that time, that money was a whole lot of money. I must not lie. And of course, hospital consultant job is easier. You don't have to do publish or perish like when you cross to lecturing job. So for me, I really didn't personally. I really didn't want to cross to UI because it was also a safe zone for me. You were in hospital job, promotion is not by paper. You just do one short exam, and that's all. And then you have money. You're not under any pressure and all that. Of course, some of you know the story of there was a time Pastor Minister to me and he had said something about, he had described a career path for me. So, but to achieve that career path, really, you need to cross to academics to be able to achieve that career path. But also I looked at the future of both career paths, both of them have different future and all that. But on the immediate, the hospital one is a safe zone, you earn more, less trouble. But the other academic part, of course, there's a whole lot of pressure. But the future in that one, you can't compare it with the future with the hospital if you're able to break through in that other part. So I remember then my boss, when we went to do interview and I didn't want to go for the UI interview, and I said, je fais go see the hospital consultant la here. That's what she was saying. Je fais go see hospital consultant la here. Future will already know your friend. I can't joke about call alloperidol for patients. She was just trying to stimulate. What I'm trying to say is that different jobs have different future, and you should be able to speculate a future in whatever career that you have chosen. So another question is now that, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? I want you to write it down. In the next 10 years, with what you are doing now, whatever career path you have chosen or you're about to do, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? So you should be able to have a picture of where do you see yourself. Okay, I'm a teacher now. In the next 10 years, I'm hoping that I have a school. In the next 10 years, I'm hoping I have this. You should have something that you want to do in the next 10 years. And the truth is that I was very sincere with you. There are certain jobs that do not have a future and do not have a career path. Yeah, there are some jobs that are like that. Bro Fafemi was saying something about that at some point while he was in First Bank, he looked at it and was like, there's no future in this. And really, there was a time that banks really downsized. But that there are still some people that, I'm sure you agree with me, there are still some people that they were working with you then and they're still working there now. So most likely those people got more certification. Maybe they have CISA, ACCA, certain things that now gives them a leverage. That they are now beyond the normal table cashier Agbo Wole, Agbo Jade, they've left that realm, that they're now more in a managerial post. Maybe they did MBA, and some of those things. So, but what I'm saying is that there are some levels that, if you look at it, they can easily face you away. I was talking, my brother works in a bank, so I was discussing with him that the way banks lay people off and all that. And I said, that for his level, that if he says he wants to resign today, that they will beg him. That because they don't even have enough people in that his level. He's worked in the foreign exchange department. He's worked in different sections of the bank, and then of course a lot of people in the managerial level, they've jackpot to the UK. So that place is really empty. So if when he changed his job, because he hasn't received any, had not had some certifications then, they took him, but they told him that he should get that certification. That of course they understand that what the certification will give him, he already has all of the experience and he has showed in his performance, but that he should still get. What I'm trying to say is that whatever you are, but of course there are some people that if I was saying that they still laid off some people, but yet they were still looking for people in that particular area. So there are certain jobs that they don't really have, at some level, they don't really have a future. So for example, if you're a cashier in the bank, you work as all those, I don't know what they call entry level teller in the bank. Not anything can happen. If they want to lay off people, you are a very good target to be laid off. So you have to now, how will I put it? You have to build yourself up to a point that you are no longer an easy target to be laid off. That you now have to maybe get extra certifications, do MBA, do all of those things to now get yourself to a managerial post that you cannot be easily laid off. You understand? So for some people, you might have to consider switching, or they want to switch or choose a job or a career path. So look at what is practicable. Look at what is relevant. Sincerely, sometimes you have to consider what is trending. Then you have to also look at what is visible. I've said it earlier. What is visible in your community? Don't go and choose courses that you go and choose a community whereby the kind of instruments you need to be working on is never available in the country. Who will employ you? So, and make sure that it has a future. And of course, we are believers. You also need to choose by leading. As in, sometimes God will give you definite instructions and guidance that are beyond human sense. That, okay, I've shared my story of even when I did psychiatry, how I was able to know that I was supposed to go to geriatrics and all that. So you should also follow God's leading. So God also leads us, gives you specific direction about what to do. So let's look at walking your career path. So one of the things you should be able to do is to be able to sit down and plan. You should try and plan a career path. You should take advantage of free trainings, scholarships. I know Bro Bafemi has said a lot of things about this. Scholarships, online certifications, conferences. And like I always say, never allow a year to go without adding one value in terms of development into your CV. A year should not go, and there should not be something that you can say that when you check your CV, that you can say you've added into your CV. Either one training, those are the things that, for people that maybe are not in regularized career like us, maybe you have a business, your portfolio, there should be something that is increasing every year. Sometimes, okay, I've done this training before. I couldn't sew this kind of clothes. Now I've learned how to sew this kind of clothes. Now I've done this. Before I couldn't do this kind of communication. Now I've learned sign language as a teacher. There should be something. Don't say, how much job am I doing? My job doesn't require anything. So some of you that you are in a food business, you are more of a manager, should have taken some management courses online. How to manage people. They could be free, they could be some that you may have to pay. So they're already there. Managing management of staff. There are courses like that. There's this, Abaka, what's the name of that thing that we used to use for free certifications? No. That one that we used for the embroidery. No, that one where we chose, because that one, we're able to choose a lot of courses from that one. Okay. So there's some places you get some of these free courses. So you look at your field, wherever you are working now, and see what are the things that you can do. You are a class, you are a teacher. You should look for courses on classroom control, guidance and counseling, that you take free certifications on counseling, classroom control, managing children with ADHD, common challenges in health in children that you can know how to manage. Because sometimes, like psychiatrists now, sometimes it's some good teachers that even make parents know that their children have some health challenges. Maybe they notice that they have some behavioral problems. I'll make them know that, oh, this child has ADHD, attention hyperactivity, whatever disorder. They're the ones that will notice and know. But how will you know if you don't know anything about it? So as a teacher, there are certain things that you can also, and you put it in your CV. The truth is that when you go to it, maybe you want to change job, you want to go to another school, and you list all those things. I've taken courses on this classroom control, communication, health issues about health in children, and all that. It gives more value to your CV and gives you an higher negotiating power for your salary. So they won't be using 30,000 to be begging you. You say that you get when you call, you say, look at the CV, see what I have. So it's not just only my BSc in whatever that I have. I've also improved myself. Because that's what people, Nigeria is certification based. Is that kind of people think about experience. In this day, people look at certification still goes a long way. So a year should not go without you, adding one value in terms of development to your to your CV. So, and then another thing is that in our career development and exploration, we need to, like I said, we need to take extra things that will give you an edge. So, like communication skills, take courses on take courses on communication, classroom control, phonetics. Some of you that are working in organizations that are conflict management, that maybe you work in, some of you that work in establishments whereby there are a lot of legal issues, maybe people, you are not into law, but has a lot to do with people suing you, standing on their rights. You can take some short courses on customer care policy and all of those things, and not because your boss said you should go and take, it's for your own good, so that when you are looking, is to develop your own self and then to make you more marketable and valuable. So, okay, this is the whatever be, right? Yeah, so start your free. So this is a very good place you can go. There's different courses on this platform, this learning college. So different things you can put in whatever you want, and it will bring out courses that are relevant to you that you can start with. Then after a while, when you get more, when you have enough money, you can still pay for some that are affordable. So you can develop basic IT skills as it applies to you. Then you should be able to use some apps. It's not even until maybe you are in academia, you are in IT that you should be able to. Why should you not be able to use Zoom in this day and time? You should be able to use Zoom. You should be able to use Teams. You should be able to use some of these Google Meets and all that. I don't know when we made that, okay, until one day now, hey, Joe, Theophilus, please, how am I going to use this thing? I have one interview. He said it is Teams. You don't know what is Teams? And no, oh my God. You shouldn't be like that. You should be versatile. So you should know how to use certain things, Canva, PowerPoint. SPL. Amaka was telling that somebody could not even use Microsoft Word. In this age and time, why don't quite an life? If Jesus was on earth, we know how to use these things. I'm telling you. So you should be able to use some of these things. What I always say is that you should always put the extra tip into all that you do. Just do the extra. All teachers, this is what the minimum, this is what all teachers do. Just have that extra. Everybody knows that as a teacher, you just have that extra. You have that extra that is not because of you are being paid for it or because it is what is expected of you. Just have that just put that extra, that extra jara on whatever you are doing. So you are a classroom teacher, you teach your children your normal curriculum. What is that extra thing you can add as value to your students and their parents? What's that? You should always think about it, that for this child, what is the extra thing I can do for my students that will make me outstanding? So you must always be ready to put that, we will get there. You see the reason why I'm saying that, because that actually positions you for opportunities. That extra singles you out for opportunities. So we should always have that. So having some administrative skills actually won't be bad. So someone say, no, I don't, you should have some administrative skills. Of course, for you to do some of these things that I've said, you might have to deny yourself some luxuries, because it might take you more time, take some extra money for you to do some of this stuff. And I also want to emphasize on this, community services. For certain jobs, you might need to consider this a lot. So for people, I will talk about, because we have a lot of teachers in our midst, for people in teaching, you might need to think about this. Community services, what are the things that you can do to your community, that you can do to your community, volunteering, The reason why I'm saying this is that it's for your CV as well, because of times when opportunities will come. Okay, I volunteered on this. We did an outreach to this place, or maybe literacy, mathematics for children in the slum. Look at this Tunde Onokoya. So sometimes you don't even, it might not even be, God can open doors. You don't know where doors can open. So you talk about mathematics in the slum. See chess in the slum now. See, it's become something global. The guy went to, I'm not playing down people that went to polio, but the guy struggled, went to poly, but he was not even the best chess player in Nigeria, for crying out loud. It was maybe like number 8 or thereabouts. But that idea of chess in the slum has made him global and made opportunities for him. So sometimes, and it started as volunteering. So sometimes you don't know how much, because it's also a part of community service, community service. So some of us, we need to think in that direction. You need to think a lot about community service. And it's not the day you start it that it will bring interest. So that's why all the teachings we are also hearing also comes to play. Because if you are a selfish person, it will be difficult for you to volunteer and give where it's not as if any gain is coming. Some of us, if something is not bringing gain, you cannot do it. So that's a guy. I'm not surprised that God has brought him to where he is. There's certain, I tell people, there's some certain principles. It's not because you are a Christian or you are not a Christian. Those principles, they are laws governing the earth. It's just like laws of seed and harvest time. There are certain laws that are governing the earth. You saw these people that they call themselves philanthropists, and you see them, they are getting blessed. It's not anything special. They know the secret of blessing people and God opening more doors to you. Because God knows that. God, see all those people that they do philanthropy to, those people are praying to God that God should send help to them. And then God sees somebody that has a heart So God says, oh, this person is a good source to answer all this, my prayer, because God will not come down from heaven to come and give those people money. So those people will be, and they have heart for philanthropy. So they will be giving to the people. The people will be thanking God. And God is just, okay, this person has a good, God is just looking for a revenue. Let's keep blessing him. We know that as long as we keep blessing him, he keeps giving back. Do you think that God doesn't have all those boys in the slum at heart? The government doesn't have them at heart, but you feel God doesn't have them at heart. God has them at heart. Many of them you think God just wants them to keep doing drugs and keep having antisocial behavior. God has them at heart. And God sees someone that has them at heart, that wants to bring them out of that situation. So God is going to bless that person. So sometimes we need to have that kind of heart to bless humanity, heart to be a blessing to people. Volunteering, community, seeing how we can ease people's tension, places where there are deficits in the community, how we can come to provide those things, And then when you do that, you will see God open doors to empower you to be able to even do it on a more global scale. So community service. Then also we go to that, our CV and personal statement. We'll still look at that again today. Then the way you work with your superiors at work is also very important. If you are building a career, how you work with your superiors. Because many times, those that have gone ahead of those that are like your superiors, many times they have an edge. They know opportunities that are available that can help you to get to the next stage. They have them. Many times, if there are openings, they will be the first people to be aware. They know what it takes. They are privy to certain information. So I tell people, it's always good to have a good relationship with your boss. As in a good relationship, at least something good. Let them know that you are a hardworking person. Don't let them see you as someone that likes doing the minimal. But if they know you're someone that just does the minimum requirements, because I'm just saying practically. So if I look at some of the doctors that work with me, if there are opportunities, there are some of them I think of. There are some their name doesn't even cross my mind. Because I know that this one, it is the minimum available. If I have an extra work that I want to do, I cannot call her. I cannot call him. Because it will give me an excuse. The way he's even positioned, I don't even have the guts to tell him to help me do this extra. So the same thing also, when opportunities come, sincerely, there are some people I don't think of. Well, there are some of them, immediately an opportunity comes, they are the ones I pick my phone and call, this thing is coming. Have you heard about this information? Go and try your hand on this. So it is always, and I've seen that also with my boss as well. Some of my boss, you see them, they will send things to me. Sir, go and check this thing now. I've not sent it to anybody. I'm only sending it to you. And just keep it that way. So it's good to have, so don't be fighting. I always say, don't fight with your boss at work. Except you know that you don't have a career path in that area. It's the truth. So you should have good relationship with your boss. You should, I'm not saying you should be an ass sticker. Some people are ass sticker, anything, even if it is good, it's not bad. I'm not saying you should be an ass sticker, but be ready to go the extra mile. Then let them see you as an hardworking person. Let them see you as someone that is reliable, that is dependable. You see, all of those things are the things that open. You can't be a lazy person. You are not reliable. You are not dependable, and you say you want to climb up in your career path. It is not possible. Because if they have an opportunity, mess up, even when an opportunity comes, and they feel, who do you want to recommend? And they, that girl, she's always late. She will not deliver, and all of that. So be very, like I said, be very handy and dependable at work. Let it be that you be the first person to be recommended for anything that is available. You can position yourself, as in you work out to a point that you have positioned yourself in such a way that if there is any opportunity that is available, you will be the first person to be recommended. So some of the things that I got this from Joy. So from Joy's WhatsApp page, WhatsApp updates. So these are some of the things that you can check out. Coursera, There's about 7,000 courses, professional certificates, and degrees from world-class universities and companies available on this platform. There are free courses that you can take, and you can also apply for financial aid to take a paid course. So you should visit their website, coursera.org, to start with. So visit it and see what you can do. Then there's this one to EDX. edX, okay. It offers a range of subjects from data science and computer programming to the humanity. You can also try this. Udemy has a free collection of courses for professionals. They offer beginner courses on programming, writing, design, and so much. So you should visit some of these platforms. Then there is LinkedIn Learning. You know, I was even also going to ask, when you ask, Obafemi, at least to start with, be on LinkedIn. It doesn't cost you anything to open a LinkedIn profile. Open a LinkedIn profile. You can contact Pastor Dayo's company to help you do a profile. You pay, even if it is 1,000 or 2,000. Don't say, no, because I'm not down. So tell them to help you write up a profile, get a good picture. See, but I want to help you take a good headshot, not mock shots. I want to put any mock shots and a good headshot. Okay, there's someone e-copy. They should give you an e-copy and you put it there, you know. And you should just, it's part of positioning yourself. Well, so LinkedIn also has some learning stuff, free courses, and like written here, they said the training courses are perfect for beginners, intermediate learners, and experts. Then, Versatility, I hope I got that right. You can learn the latest tech skills to advance your career. I think they have things even on editing pictures, editing, and all that. So these are places that we can still say there's nothing you are doing, that there won't be any free course on it. If you check any of these things, at least for the beginners, you see free courses on some of those things. So the next thing is talk about extra tips, extra visibility, extra cash. So, you need to start thinking outside the box. Gone are the days whereby you are a teacher and all you are doing is just teaching in the class and your reward is in heaven. You need some reward on the heads as well. You don't want a teacher in this world. You need it because your bills, they are not heavenly paid. They are not heavenly whatever is on earth. So there are some extra tips. So you always look about. I've talked about putting an extra on whatever you are doing. Extra tips, extra visibility, and what? Extra cash. Think that way. Extra tips, extra visibility, extra cash. So you should look at that in terms of whatever career path that you have chosen. What is the extra thing that I can do in terms of my career to make myself more visible, to make myself more profitable, to make myself more marketable? Then how can I increase my visibility? So those are reasons I said go to LinkedIn. If you are a researcher, ResearchGate and all that, make sure that what you had, even I've not maximized the ResearchGate thing. But now when I get, before I used to think I didn't have paper. So now obviously I'm not seeing them, you have 2 citations. So I need to go and increase my visibility on that ResearchGate too. Now that I'm beginning to have some paper so that because it helps to increase your visibility. So and the same, and also is because so for teachers as well, LinkedIn, you can do that. How can you increase your visibility? As teacher, sorry that I'm using teachers because personally I've had personal bias towards teachers. My mommy was a teacher. So I have extra because I feel teachers do a lot and their remuneration is not commensurate with what they invest. I believe our system is not good at all. They do a lot, and what they pay them is just peanuts. That's why they said, I believe that truly they have extra reward in heaven. There has to be. So, but how can you increase your visibility as maybe as a teacher? So, you see, one of the things I wrote there is that you should have online. How can you do teaching online? I'm not even talking as a job, as in you having, many of us don't think that way, having YouTube channels. There's this guy, this Aproko doctor. The guy is just there, this guy is just an MO. I'm not even sure if he practiced. And the guy is making a whole lot of money. And what does it? He just short videos about passing health tips. And the guy is making cash down. All of those that are doing mama share just letting share all of that. Doctor, now they do calls all night. The guy is making and he's still making impact. So he said, he's also making impact because he's demystifying a whole lot of wrong perception about it. So he's also making impact. And he's making good money. Make impact and make good money. So but look at it. Have anyone talked about that even in the teaching dimension? So it's not just teaching, okay, maybe I want to teach, you are teaching children online. But, something that innovative. So have you talked about law online? I don't know if there's anything about law in that respect online. Where you just educate people about law, that, you just have a channel like that does things like that. I wrote there, Alaga online, you're doing MC. And then you can just, if you want to choose your MC, these are things you should consider. You're a teacher, you can have a channel on how to choose, you just create content, how to choose a good school. You want to choose a lesson teacher, what are the qualities you should look for? What are the things you should ask in interview when you want to get the personal lesson teacher for your children? How to know if your child, how to know emotional intelligence for your children. Just for this content. Just 30 seconds and you just keep posting. You set, but all those things it takes. If you're a lazy person, it will not work because you need to say. Apoko doctor had surgery for almost 6 months. He could not even do any content. But throughout that period, things were still going on. Why? Because he had worked ahead. So it's not something like, hey, can I post mobile? It takes a whole lot of. But just telling you that, there's a whole lot you can do. So you can do content about demystifying. People feel maths is difficult. So you can have a page that is demystifying maths. And then you just talk about maths. Maths is life. And then when you want to cook your rice, you use maths because it is 2 cups of rice. When you want to add, and then you put some good music, good content, you put fine wig, you do all those things, you just push content. And you're pushing the content every week. Before you know it, followers, you start having people clicking on it. If you have money, you sponsor ads, and before you know it, I'm not saying about just extra visibility, so I've written some of the things that we can do. So some of the things that just crossed my mind that people can do, demystifying maths, demystifying reading, and all that. And just do it. Or let's read a story. Your own page is just reading a story. And just have but you have to go and call phonetics from Jesulai or so that when you are reading it, you did it well. And then people just, things, and all that. No, because I see people do all kind of content online. I know a woman, all she does is just about breastfeeding. And you see a lot of people following her and all that. So there are so many things we can do even with our teaching profession that you can think outside the box, to do content creation online with whatever you are doing. Then on a LinkedIn, you should have a good profile. Some people can decide to choose you as personal teachers for their children by just checking on LinkedIn, and they'll just contact you. If I tell people, if you studied English, you should have a good profile on LinkedIn. You should push content there, even if you have to sponsor, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of chinko. I know that people that use LinkedIn most, all these Middle East people, they use it a lot now. So many of them want to learn English, so they can even get you as personal tutors without even going through all those normal companies online. And you will still do a good business. So please, I want us to explore these things. Extra tips extra visibility, extra cash. So think of what are the extra things, tips that I can add to whatever I'm doing. What are the things I can add to make myself more visible? Then what are the things that I can do to make extra cash? So like you that are selling perfume, now you just, sorry that I'm using you, you are selling perfume, and you say, hey, you wondering, you just speak, come and buy what I am selling you. Is that every day? That's what I'm saying. If I don't say, I will not eat my people. Is that what? And they will put Ake and Pop. It's good though. I'm not discouraged. You can start like that. And they put Ake and Pop like this. The way I'm looking at you because I've not patronized us today. All of those things. It's good. But how about reviewing the things that you are selling? That, okay, I sell oil perfume, and I noticed that males prefer buying. What's the name of that perfume? That one that I said people like buying. People like buying this. However, have you tried? It's good, and the reason why people like buying it, what is why do you like this perfume? Okay, it lasts longer. So you do a review on that. Then you take another one, and this vanilla. If you people don't, and you just say something about it. That have you tried it? Those conditions. So today you do two. The following day you do another one. You bring content. Not that come and buy what I am selling. You have not patronized. I will not eat this one if you don't patronize me. So you put content in what you are doing. People that are selling like Liliana that is selling makeup products. Don't show us only makeup that you are doing. We know that you sell products. Put those products, review those products. That why should you prime your face before using makeup? Because people don't even know why they should use primer. And you talk about just 30 seconds or whatever, importance of primer. Then after that, you say, I have beautiful primer products. People have seen the importance of primer. If you want to buy primer, they will think about you. You know that, come and buy what I am selling, no. Not that just post the thing you are posting. I don't even know the importance. People don't know the importance of putting vitamin C on their face. And you are posting serum vitamin C every day. So one day you can just tell today, we want to talk about serum vitamin C on your skin. And you go and Google what the importance of serum vitamin C. I come and castle enough money. Serum vitamin C. You know that serum vitamin C brightens your skin. It's clinical. Review from our people that have used serum vitamin C. It reduces wrinkle. So people say, okay, and that thing you have been posting, people just go by. Me need the vitamins, moisturizer. People just know only maybe about moisturizer. How to choose what they call it, sunscreen. Because people just feel sunscreen are the same thing. It was Atilala that had to enlighten me on sunscreen, the strength of different sunscreen. So you can do that and say, okay, sunscreen, the minimum you should use is maybe 1+ or 2+ SPF, and the best is this. These are the products, clinical. However, for economic purposes, this is still okay for you. And then after that, you market your product. People will buy. They come out process. SPF. People don't even know. Some of these things are simple as high pencil. You can give reviews on high pencil, how to choose a good high pencil. If you don't use black, because some people don't know, let me even say that now. You don't use black high pencil to draw eyelashes. I be what they call it. To draw your eyebrow. So you say things that people don't know, they just use black, like I don't talk paragani, kilo. So some of those, by doing that, you have already passed content. So even people see that apropos doctor, as much as I know some of those things, I like even when I'm fed, I don't have anything to drink. I like listening to it because I know that we will say once, I got more better, so that makes sense. So we can actually put content to that. The same thing with people that are doing fashion, selling clothes. Now I've thought about people selling clothes too as well. You do review about clothes. After 1 month, and it is not your fault. They are using sunlight to wash. So sometimes we need to do something about what I know. Gillian did it once. Then we'll stop. You just do something about how to maintain your fabric. When you wash your Ankara, don't put it in sun. You are going the morning, so you tell them, when you wash Ankara fabric, you don't put Ankara fabric in the sun. You dry it under a shade, just to keep the color. Just do some. And after you've done that, you market your Ankara. So naturally, people will want to see your page. And when they see, they know that the fabric won't but they like color because something is attracting them. So we must all think about how to, apart from, because whatever said it today, that it's not just only just posting your product. It's also having a content that can do what attracts people and you'll be shocked that many things that people go and Google online to even me. There's this dance that I saw people dance. I went to Google it to know how to dance the dance. To say, teach me how to dance. What's the name of that song? Shabala. I watched like almost 30 videos. You can't believe, with my money. And at the end of the day, my children said, I did not know how to dance. So I'm just telling you at times that, how far people can go. So I just want us to, we have the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is very innovative. So allow God to give you inspiration, to think about how to increase things, how to improve the things you are doing, how to increase your visibility, how you can make extra cash. Okay, so I think I need to start. My time is up, Abby. Yeah, I know. So we quickly look at CV. Our CV. So we should example. So for CV is your selling points. Your selling points, your CV, your personal statement. We're supposed to go into an exercise. We did it last year, but so for your CV and your personal statements, you should be able to, you should market yourself. So I always tell people, so if an Oyibo man is removing, what he does in this place is to change bulb. By the time he writes it, you will think that you don't know that, Bob, I am the facility management where I ensure that the lightning is always skinny. Bob will change the way they will write it. As in, even you yourself, I'm a facility manager that ensures that the lightning is constant and clinical and up to clinic. What about and change the bulb? But the way they will package the thing, I tell you, you won't know. So our CV, and even me, I'm also learning this. My bosses have complained many times that, in Nigeria, we are very conservative. We don't want to sell. Even also as concerned, it's not in this place that you should abase. When you're writing your CV, it's not when you should not show yourself. Your CV, I beg, show yourself very well. You should market yourself. You should blow your trumpet very well in your CV. Because that is what you want to use to, to get the job, and your personal statement. So I'm going to quickly read a recent personal statement that Amaka wrote. And I'm sure many of you say, Pastor Mrs. We just trying to market her. So sell yourself at every opportunity. So let's look at this. She was trying to apply for something. Said, I'm a postgraduate student in the Department of Data. See that it did not say masters. PhD too is what? Postgraduate. So I'm a postgraduate student in the Department of Data and Information Science, University of Ibadan, Nigeria, with interest in the intersection of data science and mental health. Why? That might not necessarily be what she's interested in. But what she was applying for was something that has to do with mental health. So she was doing data science. So they asked her, what the data science has to do with mental health? Because she works, you understand. So she had to frame it that has interest in what? In the intersection. Because there's actually an overlap, intersection between what? Data science and mental health. So that's what they apply for. My work does not fit it. You have to look for a way to fit it if you want it, and you make it show in your whatever. My undergraduate training was in geography at the University of Ibadan. And I have volunteered as a research assistant at the geriatric unit of the Department of Psychiatry, which has provided, because they were asked, how did you drop from geography to mental health? My undergraduate training was in geography at the University of Ibadan, and I volunteered as a research assistant at the geriatric unit of the Department of Psychiatry, which has provided an enriching environment with ample mentoring opportunities that has spurred my research interest in brain health. As a volunteer, I have participated in, can you see the reason why it's good to volunteer? As a volunteer, I have participated in field works on mental health research projects at the geriatric unit of the Department of Psychiatry, University College Hospital, Nigeria. These include research projects on profile and pattern of dementia in geriatric center, knowledge and attitudes towards COVID-19 among older clinic attendees with psychiatric disorders, mental health disorders among older adults with HIV, and survey on decisional autonomy in health and treatment in Nigeria. So, giving her a foundation that even though I studied geography, which doesn't fit into mental health, but I have volunteered and it has spurred my interest and given and exposed me into the mental health field. Furthermore, I leverage on my data science skills as a volunteer research assistant in the psychogeriatric unit of the Chief Tony Geriatric Center. In this role, I manage the unit's dementia registry, participate in routine data collection for patients with neuropsychiatric conditions, assist with recruitment and data support in assessing available preliminary data for researchers who are interested in conducting studies related to dementia at the psychogeriatric unit of the center. Full stop. Let me explain what it does. I can't lady. Look at my patient is record. We just have one book where they write those things. That is the simple thing we do. Abi talk by? Is that not what we do? We just write. We just have a book where we just make record, not like normal record taking of this patient came today and all that, and then we just enter it. But of course, that has been very useful, really, in that when people now come, when big researchers, people that have big grants, when they come and they want to do research, and they say, we have these grants, we want to do this, help us, we need these patients. We can actually easily go to those books and get information of that patient. So, but in the real sense, see the big grammar is as if, data, I applied the data. You must be able to, what I'm trying to say is that you must be able to do what? Blow yourself. I provide post-diagnostic support for dementia patients by making reminder calls for follow-up care. So what do? They just come, am I going to call any clinic in all? So you can see post-diagnostic care supports. I provide post-diagnostic support for dementia patients by making reminder calls for follow-up care, and I'm actively involved in organizing an annual program for dementia patients, I Can Still Dance, aimed at enhancing their quality of life by improving their social interactions and educating caregivers on non-pharmacological methods to manage associated behavior. What does you do? But why? I photo, I fetch a program, but why? Mrs. Nyada, I fed 50 donuts, I have 50 clinical. So those are the things she does when we are doing the program. We are the ones that do the program. But of course, she helps us with the logistics. See how we have brought that into whatever. I'm actively involved in what? Organizing. Because I should, they send me to go and buy puff puff. I go to buy puff puff. I call. Currently, I'm in the third semester of my master's degree in data and information science, and my research focuses on evaluating the use of assistive technologies among older adults with dementia in low and middle income countries. I am proficient in Python, SPSS, Stata, and GIS. I have worked as a freelancer conducting statistical analysis resulting in published papers with acknowledgements for my contributions. So she's done some other jobs for people, and see it's coming into whatever. My career vision is to become a leading researcher in the field of data science interfacing with brain health in Africa. I aim to lead research efforts that bridge existing gaps in brain health research by using my knowledge in data science, particularly in Nigeria and similar developing countries. To achieve this, I plan to engage in empirical and scientific research, collaborate with global experts, and build a research team with strong mentoring capacity and community impact. Attending this training will significantly grant me access to robust mentorship, research and communication skills acquisition, holistic activities enhancing professional advancement, development of methodologically sound and innovative protocols, experiential learning by participation in mental research programs, and formulation of novel research questions and credentials in data science research. I would also gain valuable insight into recent developments in brain health, research methodologies, grant application, stakeholders engagement, and GIS. This training will facilitate networking with experts and mentors, contributing to my institution's research capabilities and global standing. Overall, it will enable me to make meaningful contribution gain to data science skills, enhance funding opportunities, and elevate the productivity and reputation of my institution. So, you need to be able to do what? Market yourself. So, you need to be able to sell yourself at every time. So, whatever you are doing, you need to know how to package yourself. When there are opportunities, so that's why it's good to have a good CV, have a good personal statement that you can tailor at any time to whatever opportunity. This one was to apply for a particular training program. She got it. She's under probation now. She got the training. She got shortlisted, but they're still going to have like 6 months training. Then they will pick the best 5 out of all of them. So you need to sell yourself. And you must know how to sell yourself. So that's why you need a good CV. You need a good personal statement. So look for applications. For you, those are some of you that are teaching. Check online for applications. You can even see scholarships that can help you to take master's program, MPhil, that can postgraduate diplomas and all that in Montessori. And all. Actually, I tell people, actually, if you are less than 30 years, you have, if less than 40 years, you have a lot of, and you are a female, you have a lot of opportunities online. A lot. Free masters, free PGDs, free certifications for women in STEM. So you see a whole lot. But you need to sit down and check them. So please, some of you have to think about doing NGOs. And it's something that we must start looking into. NGOs, we need to do that. I've talked about volunteering. I've talked about beefing up your CV with skills and experience, community services. Do it. You don't know when you will need it. And as you are doing it, please document it. Take pictures. If you're going to do any training, maybe you go do an outreach, make sure you take pictures and you don't store them in your phone that will be stolen. That can be stolen. I'm not saying your phone will be stolen. Store them somewhere. Maybe on the cloud, or maybe you send them to yourself as emails. You don't know when you are going to need it. So all of those things are very important. Take time to explore what life is at the peak of that career that you are in. Brother Femi also said it, that you should follow people that are ahead in your field. Ask to meet with people informally and interview them about their careers. People that are in your field. You can meet people online, book appointments with them, and let them just share some of their experience with you. Learn the basics, including typical application requirements. How do you apply for a master's? Well, it's not, today, you don't even need to stress yourself. If you want to apply for something, see Pastor Dio, but you pay. It will help you. So, understand the education and training requirements involved in your path. So, know the certifications that are involved in whatever career path that you have chosen. And if you don't have the funds, believe God. You can seek for scholarship. So, don't always say, I don't have money. I don't have money. Like I told you, except you are over 40. If you are less than 40, there are a whole lot of opportunities for funding for you that you can actually explore. So you should know. So you should ask yourself, in my field, what are the trainings? Those are things that you should write down. What are the trainings or educational training and requirements related to my field that I can do? Think ahead. What will it take me to be a proprietor or school administrator? What will it take me to be a director in that government job, to be an head of department? What will give me an edge? What extra skill or qualification do I need? How can I make money with this, my career or business aspect of my career? Do I need to run a tutorial? Do I need to do free training online and all that? How can I be an employer with this career? Those are things you should be doing. You know, that's what I'm challenging you. Oh, color perfume. How do you want to be an employer that you are not the one that you are even selling to other people? So you should think like that. How can I be an employer with this my career? How can I make more money with this my career? What extra skill do I need? So what are the tips? You need to prepare systematically and plan carefully. You need to be strategic. And I must tell you, there is competition out there. Everybody wants to be visible. Everybody wants to make more money. So you must know that there is competition. And so you must be the best in whatever you are doing. Position yourself for promotion. And what you will need is whatever is in that thing that you are doing is what you will also need to get to where you want to be. Then for career and government policies, people that are maybe you are working in, you are employed by government, you should look at, government policies, how you can, we should not just think that because we are, before I used to think, in this UI, in this usage, do I really want to do, do I really want to take any administrative position? But I found out that is not really a good way to think. Because the truth is that if you are in those kind of places, by taking managerial or administrative positions, you can actually influence policies. Yeah. So you must start thinking about that. How can I get to a place where I can influence policy? Not that when you are thinking like that, the joke was so juko. I found out that all the people that maybe become CMD, they become VC. It doesn't happen to them by chance. How many of you know? You will see them. By the time you see their CV, you know that what's in planning. Sincerely, I found out. So I've seen them, some of the courses they take, somebody is in medicine. You're a surgeon. What are you doing with, what's this course all of them go and do? No, not MBO. There's this one they do, or management clinical that people used to do. They used to market it to NY, to us, to people doing NYSC. What's the full meaning? No. It's about management. No, it's not project management. NIN, but the professional one, it has stages. Many of them do it. So, can you all chef? Can you surgeon? Because they know that one day they are going to become an administrator. So they start. So you see, I've seen sincerely, all our CMDs is that they do MBA, they do all this project management, they do all these management courses. So that means that they've been eyeing it. So they've already prepared themselves for it. All of them, they will be in one club. So back off. Rotary. I am telling you. So you know that they are. In fact, some of them they are card-bearing members of maybe APC or PDP. Yes, you're opening your mouth. Yes, they've been it. So all the while, that means that all the while, when we were just sitting down in the office and doing a parallel jaundice and writing case, so they're already thinking ahead. So we must also, that's I say, you must also be what? Strategic in whatever we are doing. So you don't just get to certain positions. I'm not saying the miracles don't happen. They happen. But you have to be strategic. God also uses the things we have to position us. So that's why I'm saying that we must, some of you might have to start building profile because you want to get to certain places where you want to influence, you want to be able to influence what policy or influence the landscape of wherever field that you have chosen. Very important. So I think that brings us to the end of this session. Thank you for listening. Any questions? Amaka?
So please, can we, do we have questions, please? I'm sure we should. Not after this enriching session. Is this a question? Okay. All right. So please you may write your questions and I'll read it out for a moment. Okay. It says, thank you for the fine exposition. Okay, is this for mommy session? Let me see. Okay, no, this is not for mommy session. Okay. Another question for this session, please. Please. You have a question? Okay, please, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mommy. Thank you, Daddy. I have a desire to be the Minister of Education someday. But I know sometimes you need a government job to do that. But I've not been able to get one. I've been trying to. I currently intern with NISA with the hope to be a part of the system. But I have a business. I'm in the educational sector, and I want to build a career and a business around it. So I've been thinking, so there's business drawing me. Because there's a way you have to position yourself where you are, like a nicer, to be, good. Ejo, ebami. I've had people say, I don't know if it's true in their heart or you good. I'm a for initiative. But I've been looking at how to bring everything together. Research is very interesting. NASA is into research and into policy making, which is very good. But then I have this line that I'm building also. So sometimes I get caught up in between the two. And then there's tech coming. I've been thinking, I was speaking to my sister's husband last week, Sister Ireti's husband. And I was telling him I've been thinking of how to bring tech into special education. Because someday, I may not have to go to my client's house to do behavioral therapy. So what can I do? What can I start doing now? In case it's something like COVID-19 happen again. 2020, I was very broke. So I've been thinking, okay, so we're talking, because I said learning data science, machine learning. At some point I go, so now there's data science, there's special education, then there's research and policy making. And sometimes I used to just scratch my head and shout, so what can I do to?
So the first thing is that you need to know you need to set priorities. What exactly is a priority for you? Is it policy? Is it becoming the minister for education? And of course, like you said, you have to look at something that is visible as well. So you need to first of all know the priority. Of course, the business aspect is important because you have to feed and not die before you get to you become the minister. So business too is also there. So then the data science, the data aspect. Why do we want to go into data science? Is it that you want to change profession or you want to see how it can enhance your whatever? So when it is that, you now have to go and that means it's not all aspect of data science that is relevant to you. So you now have to go and look for the aspects that is relevant to what you are doing. So like all you are saying, I know that they were if you go and Google research papers online, you see how did people outside the country, how did behavioral therapy, special needs children, how did behavioral therapy, how did they attend to special needs? So you will see papers. When you read those papers, you will see how they use technology, what they did. So with that, you can know what aspects you should focus. It will streamline, so you don't just be lost in data science and AI world. So you can pick what you need from, okay, because in developed countries, there was still a way, even though it was not optimal, but there's still a way they reached out to patients. Some of those good places, they were still able to do certain things. So how did they do it? So the ones that have to do with tech, you can, from those papers, you can extract and see, okay, how can I apply this in my own setting? How can I improve my skill in such areas? So because data science is wide, so you can't just be learning everything to say, I want to apply it to what I'm doing. So you have to go and research, check papers, see what people have done in developed countries, and see which aspect applies to you. For the business aspect, truly, you need the business because you need to survive, before you be the minister. But of course, you want to be a minister for education, so you must have two, this is what I say, you must have two plans. If you get a government job, it is possible. If you don't get a government job, it might not be possible. But what you want to achieve, there's a reason why you want to be a minister for education. And that is because you want to be able to influence policy. But you know that you don't have to be in government to be able to influence policy. Yes, you don't have to be in government to be able to influence policy. How do you influence policy? So, from your own, because any policy in a good system, any policy they are doing, privates, whatever, are also consulted. So you can be a top consultant for children with special needs. Because you have worked in that area, you've had certifications, you've had experience, and people know you, oh, you're a top consultant. When you are an authority in this field, you have published papers in that field that if I want to do the policies, when they are searching for papers that they will use to support their whatever, they will call you. And then whatever policy they want to make, they call stakeholders. And you are in that field, you are a major stakeholder. So, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because when it comes to policy, it's not just the Minister of Education that just stand up on there and say, I'm giving this policy. That's not how they make policy. There are stakeholders that are involved. So, even though you're not in the government, you can be a non-governmental parastatal that is a major policy influencer, a major stakeholder in that field. You have contributed a lot in that field. You've done research in that field. You've developed therapies that are, we have some ambiguous therapies that are only practicable in the developed country. But you have adapted them into our society. You've taken those whatever, you've adapted them, and then you have done research, you have documented it, you have pushed it online. So when they Google and they want to do anything, your name keeps popping up. Then they say, oh, this person we took one model from outside the country. That's why people, all of these models that we say, Jacob Strash model. It's somebody that did it, and then you name it your own model. Tosi or Ofi model of behavioral something. Because you've adapted it. So you can actually do so with that. Even when they want to make policies for children with disability, they will always consult you. So you are an authority in that field. So that's how it works. So I hope I'll be able to answer your question.
Okay, this question is there's one from the online audience. He said, please, ma, I need tips on how to start NGO for deaf students. I think this is more of a... So
I don't really know so much about NGO, but from from my little experience is that, number one, if you have money, you can register the NGO. If you don't have money for registration, you can start activities, as in outreaches, seminars, reaching out to, you already have your NGO, even though it's not registered, but you're already doing activities, but you must be documenting all the activities. And immediately you get money to register your NGO, you must open a bank account. You see, those are one of the things that makes NGO to thrive: accountability and transparency. That's what attracts foreign investors. So once you register the name, you have a bank account. So one thing you must know, that everything you are doing about that NGO, the money that comes in and the money you spend must always come through that NGO. If you are purchasing a pencil for the NGO, it must come through that NGO. In fact, if you are the one sponsoring the NGO at the initial stage, you must do it in such a way that it will be the money, don't just take the money from your account. You will take the money, you might have to pay it in somebody's name into your account as a gift, and then from that account, you'll be spending it. Let me tell you the reason why. When you want to apply for a grant, you are going to provide your financial statements. And you cannot say, we have been the one sponsoring it by ourselves. So you need to, so there has to be structure. You need legal, you need a lawyer. You need, I know, because there was a time my friend wanted to apply, my friend as an angel wanted to apply for a grant. That's why I know some of these things. If I had to, you need a financial advisor. You don't have to pay those people, but just have them at the back of your, remember that I had to contact Pastor GP for my friend, though we eventually did not apply for that grant. But you need some of the things you need like like an accountant or a financial person. At least even if you don't have them, have people that can help you do that. You must have like a legal advisor. You must have a board. Those are because they will ask all those things when you want to apply for whatever grant you want to use for the NGO. But even most people that know that start NGO, they first of all start with activities. So when they start with activities, they can now get money registered, and they now start. It's even those activities that you do that you will post. Then, of course, have social media. Tell people you must have a social media page. You must be on TikTok, be on Facebook, be on LinkedIn, be on everywhere. And you keep posting the activities that you are doing and the enlightenment, and you keep soliciting for funds. But that's how, those are the things that they will check, and those are the things that will bring funds. And of course, all the necessary documentation, financial documentation, legal documentation, your constitution, and all of those things must be there. But it's something that, sincerely, I see a lot of grants that are not academic, that are NGO online. That if you have people that are doing solid NGO, you can tap into those funds. So it's something that people must start thinking of, something innovative that can solve there's a whole lot of funds available for NGO. Is it arts, painting, ordinary painting? For children with disability, you will see grants for it. Big money. Documentary, all you people that are doing video, documentaries about whatever, and they will say, and there are grants to sponsor documentaries. You can't believe it. Big money, documentary. So some of these things we have to start. So some of you that are very good with storytelling, you can do you will see grants for arts, documentary, and all that are good with storytelling. You can do it. You go somewhere, you want to tell a story about a community that have not had water for years, and you just go there, you interview people. You don't even need a big camera, just a good phone. You do all of those things, and then you win grants, and they win prizes, big money. Things like $5,000, $10,000. And I just said, I'm not in arts and humanities. And you don't have to be a researcher. You don't have to be in academics. So those are some of the things that we can do. So like Joshua, that's an agri person now. He can decide to do a documentary on the woes of farmers with this climate change. There's a Richard grant on climate change. And it goes to comment the menace of Fulani herdsmen, how they have destroyed farms and people have pulled out of agriculture. And you go and meet farms, does a documentary, I use it to, and you post it, and then it can be an award-winning documentary. He's a farmer. So you understand all of these things. So they are all out there, sincerely.
Thank you very much, ma. Here's another question. What would you say about choosing a career path early, ma? When things like marriage and family comes in, is it still possible to push a career path, or it is now more difficult?
I don't understand. I don't understand. So what's best saying that when you are married, you cannot choose a career or what? There's no time you cannot choose a career path. It depends on agreements. Of course, before you get married, fine.
Sorry, I don't understand this marriage thing. Most likely it's a lady. Do you know when you marry? That's the thing. So you're trying to tell me that you not chart a career course because you are waiting for marriage. What if you're going to wait for 5 years? What if you wait for 7 years? So you pause your life. It's not as hard as that. God works all things together for your good. So whatever is worth doing, when it comes to career, it's better you start early. Yes. So when you get married, you and your husband will. I met my wife in medical school. Okay, so I knew I was going to marry a doctor, and part of the there was that preparation in my mind that I was going to marry a doctor, and our lives were going to revolve around those things together. Of course, today she's still a doctor. Well, for me, I didn't know I was going to do ministry this way. I'd always had ministry in me. I already charted a course in business consulting and training, and I wanted to take it to the peak of it. So I was already thinking that both of us would do fine, encourage our career, she would encourage mine, until ministry came up. So there's always a way around it. It's not hard. No matter, she married a pastor. I've not killed her career because I'm a pastor. Okay, so it all depends on. So I don't see any reason why you should pause career plan because of marriage. Okay, and let me tell you this, and I want to say this particularly for the ladies. Now, this is it's a traditional mindset that worked at a particular time where ladies married early. See, I want to tell you the truth. Life has changed. Generally, it's possible that some ladies may stay longer in getting married, not because you have a generational curse, not because there is a devil following your family. Are you following me? There are more ladies than men in the world. Just go and do the statistics. Okay? So a lady cannot be revolving her life around marriage. You can't do that. It means you are not going to leave anything because of that. Life has changed. Okay? So just keep living your life according to the will of God. I need to remind you that even your career should be also God-inspired, God-led. And keep living your life. And then along the line, marriage comes in. You continue living your life. Okay? You and your husband will sort it out when you get to that bridge. Okay?
I think doctor was just putting clarity that it's like the person is asking that when you now get married, that is it not more difficult to push a career path? Well, sometimes it can, because you now have a child, you have an husband to care for, and all that. But I feel that those things can still be managed, really, sincerely. It's just understanding. So those things can still be managed, even when you are married. You can plan your family, and know how maybe you want to quickly have all your children and then now face career, or you want to have a long pause and then make some progress before having. You can always work something up. I don't think, like my husband said, marriage should not kill people's career. Two is always better than one. You should be able to make more progress with whatever you are doing. Yeah. Is that all? Thank you very much. Okay. Somebody has a question. I'm ready.
Please, is there another question for her? For mommy? Because the other people.
Well, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask a question.
Okay.
For example, now, personally, I don't really know. Okay, so first of all, personally, I don't really know what I'm good at. Let me just say, I don't really know what I can really put energy into, a specific maybe career path for me to go into. Okay, so, sorry. My question is that for me now, personally, I'm not really, should I say, you said know yourself.
Yeah.
So I can't really say that I really know what I'm good at, what I want to pursue, the career path I would like to work into, that I know that I have passion, I'm good for it.
Okay.
So I want to ask, is there a guideline, is there a way for someone to know that, okay, this is what I'm good at? Or is it that someone will just try several areas and see whichever one that works for him, or what, ma'am?
Okay, let my husband answer that. That is my husband's field. Guru Koni in that area. That used to be pastors. That used to be.
Okay, but you are the first thing is that you are a believer and you have the Holy Spirit in you. Okay, you have that leverage. You can pray about it. But before you even start praying, you have to consider all your gifts and your talents. You just lay them down. What can you do? Okay? So what can you do? I'm sure you can do a couple of things. What are the things you are good at? You must have, is it that you have skills that you already have, skills that you can likely develop based on your interests. Okay? I picked up I picked up business training and consulting because I just had an interest naturally and inclination towards it. So it was not difficult for me. So while I was in campus and I was studying pure and applied chemistry, I was reading books on management and leadership alongside. So I picked the skill, alongside. So then, like I said, your talents, your gifts, the possible, even if you don't have those skills now, the possible skills that you can easily develop. Okay, maybe if you can talk, you can put that you can, you have strong communication skills, strong writing skills. You have a critical analytical mind. Some people have a very strong analytical mind. They can analyze things. Some people, they are not good in analyzing things, but some they can analyze. So some people are what I call strategic. They may not have done a course in strategic management, or people you call think tank, but naturally, there are people that can think something from the beginning to the end. That's a think tank person. So my question is, what kind of person are you? Okay, sit down and do that. Even though, they are how will I put it? Templates to discover those things psychologically. If you go online, they try to. Some are paid, some you pay, some they are free, where they can help you discover your gifts. Okay? I think psychometric analysis and all that, personalities and all those kind of things. So I just feel that as a Christian, you have a leverage. Maybe you have not just sat down and be reflective enough. It's not so difficult for you to know what you can do outside the course you read in school. Also, that includes, what did you read in school? What did you read in school? I'm sure you don't. I know you just went to do that geography. So let's just strike that off. You just want to do that. Let's strike that off. So you can sit down and then you can get to write down the things that you can do. For instance, if you have a flair, for someone like Ife, I've always known that Ife had a flair for investments and finances since a very long time. Okay, and if you have that, that's also a skill set. Okay, you can go into investments, investment coaching, managing people's portfolio. If you know how to make people increase their money, that's a skill. You can leverage on that. Okay, so all those kind of things. So there has to be something you can do. There has to be something you can do. I can't say, can you play football? Believe me, people are laughing. It's a good skill set. If you can play soccer, there are a lot. We don't include, but a lot of opportunities to play football internationally, without having to go to Premier League. They have all other opportunities that you can go and apply for. In fact, currently now, I'm also even thinking that we need to change our mindsets in the way we even raise our children. There are academias in Nigeria right now that can enroll your child, train them, and connect them to international football academias, where they will also go to school. They'll do some level of learning, and that child can eventually progress into playing football. I'm just saying that. So you have many. Is it sports? They are because nobody has said anything about sports. There are a lot of opportunities in sports. Athletics, table tennis, somebody talked about chess. Those are indoor ones. So, there has to be something you can do. So just sit down. Even before you start praying, write everything you feel you can do. Both the ones you can do now, the gifts you have for, and the skills that you can likely easily develop, maybe between 1, 2, and 3 years max. Write those things down and pray for God to now begin to direct you on where you can begin to concentrate on. Okay? I'm sure I helped you a little bit. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. All right. We'll be going into the last Q&A session, and I think that's the last session for this all day. That's for the first and second talk. Bro Ife and Bro Bafemi's talk. So we have just a little bit of time for that. Please, let's have our questions ready. Okay, if you want to speak directly, it's okay. If you want to write your questions out, I think that will save us time. Okay, so write your questions, just get them ready so that we can just read them out very briefly. Oh, okay. So please, let's get those questions ready. All right. So this question goes to, I think, for both of you, sirs. Maybe let's appreciate them why they come out to sit, so that they don't have to go. Just sit close by. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So the person is asking, say, thank you for the fine exposition, sir. The question is, in the virtual space, so that's for Bro Bafemi, in the virtual space, Nigerians are quite disadvantaged due to reputation damages. What is your position about changing location in the digital space? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what is your position about changing location in the digital space? Perhaps maybe on your platform, are you going to say you are in UK when you're in Nigeria or something? Okay. Or actually relocating abroad so that you won't lie about your position. Please, sir, help us with that quickly.
Thank you, sir. That's a heavy question. Well, truthfully, generally, across boards, yes, geographical location as a Nigerian could be a disadvantage. But that's a general fact. Even in investments, it's also a disadvantage because there are some investments you can't try. Even in terms of online side hustles, there are a lot of side hustles that can make you good $30, $50, $100 a day. But for the fact that you are in Nigeria, you can't access them. Good. And you can't change the location. If you like, use the best VPN. You won't still access it. So, yes, if you want to move in terms of relocating physically, the lay-down principles have been taught. Daddy has taught us what to do. So that one is Daddy's. If you are led, and that leading will be under, monitoring. But in terms of changing location online, personally, I'm against it. And there are several reasons. One, when you change location to, let's say, Canada, or what's this popular one that most people use now, Australia, you get opportunities. But the opportunity you're going to get, when you begin to converse with a person, these guys are smart. They will converse with you, they will relate with you and connect with you outside of work. So if it does not match up with what they expect from you, there's no amount of reading you want to read about Australia that you'll be able to relate with somebody who has been in Australia. Now, I'm saying this because I figured out one. We needed to employ somebody. We're trying to look outside the country, and I think, was it Austria or something? When we got the guy, what he was speaking was, my English is even better than his. So automatically, that sent a signal. We got a couple of them too like that. We started relating. So what that did to me was I had to go and read up about their country and some things that everybody that lives there should know. And I threw it to them. And guess what? They were flawed. Now, my boss has some UK clients. When I'm engaging them, before they talk business or anything, I also day, this and this and this, they talk about different things around their day. They talk location. Oh, no, you don't want to imagine the distance I have to travel from this bridge to this bridge. No. Like, oh, man. And I knew those things because my boss, we've had interactions. They would talk about it. I'll read about it and all of that. That's my own place of personal development. So there are sometimes I had to do that. Now, if you change location online and they are engaging you outside of work, because one thing is in Nigeria that we are always strictly work relationship alone. Outside there, there's personal relationship, that also comes into work because they want to know you for who you are, not just for what you do for them. So if all of those things do not match up to who you say you are, where you say you are, then that's a no for you. That's a bad reputation. Now, in terms of still gaining advantage while on these platforms, it's easy, I would say. Maintain what you are. Mommy has started about career projection. Now, one way you can win is keep improving yourself. Now, first thing is, that person that asked the question, my number one question to you is, how many freelance platforms are you on? I'm sure most of us, we just know Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer, and maybe which other one. There are over hundreds of freelance platforms for different industries that you are. Now, how many of that are you on? That's number one. Then number two, on LinkedIn, what are you doing on LinkedIn? Guess what? Whenever these guys want to take you on, after engaging you, for example, on Upwork, they will go and look for you on LinkedIn. So if they don't see what is substantial to your Upwork profile, it's a no. So, how I got to know is at some point when I started my career in the freelancing space, I had a lot of views on my LinkedIn profile. And they are not from Nigeria. They are from some that will send me invitation, some I will apply, and some I don't even know where they came from. But they kept on looking and looking and looking. Now, guess what? When I got an interview with Microsoft, I think that was 2 years ago, he looked at my profile, my work history, talked about my work history in LinkedIn. But guess what? There was one I put in LinkedIn I did not put on Upwork. Why? That was just voluntary. And that was what they held on to and said, what happened? Why did this discrepancy between your profile there and your profile here? And I had to explain. Say, yes, but we need transparency. To them, it was transparency issue. So how many Nigerians are faulting in this? Because they don't know. Do you understand me? So if you're in Nigeria, be proud to be a Nigerian. Now we are coming into the space where there is cultural, what do you call it? What do you call this? English, it has gone again, and I was saying there. Where you have, what do you call it? Okay, let me just explain. Maybe someone will help me with the English. Cultural diversity. Thank you. So, these guys want to have a team that is diverse in terms of culture because they have seen over time that it helps their productivity and it helps their business growth. So you're in Nigeria, like I was sharing then, I'm in Nigeria. I didn't apply for any job. But someone in Canada saw my profile and then messaged me and said, we need you to get on our team. Offers like that will come if your profile is good, you have good reputation, and then you also have good social proof. So those are things you want to do. Just guide yourself. You don't know what is ahead, but prepare yourself, like Mommy has said, guide yourself with all the tools. Get certifications, online certifications, put them. See, if you have 200 certifications on your profile, personal profile on social media and even freelance profile, it is what? It is never too much. So get as many certifications as possible. Some of them are similar, there are similarities. Don't worry about them. You can get conflict resolution. You can get staff management disputes. They are different, right? But in the real sense, they are within the same category. The reason is you don't have the money to go for the full course. So get them in bits, in bits, in bits. They would appreciate it, and that will give you the leverage you have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, then that same person also has a question for Bro Ife, but then I'll combine that with another question for Bro Ife, so you just take both of them. Okay, the first one is, please, I use OPay for most of my savings. Is it safe? Okay. Is it safe? Okay. Then the owner of this question, who wrote with red, there are two questions here, but the first one is legible enough for me to read. But I don't know what you wrote for the second question. So in case you need to rewrite it, I would like to have that. Okay, he says, are Ponzi schemes that give returns daily a good way for a believer to increase funds and invest? Are Ponzi schemes that give returns daily a good way for a believer to increase funds and invest?
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to address the first question about OPE. So the first thing is OPE is actually a licensed company in Nigeria. Do you understand? So it's not like they are fraudulent. People have been using. In fact, they started as they were doing what's it called now, O-Ride and all of that. So interestingly, they did all of that just to get data before they now transitioned into payment. That was the mindset back then. So it's a licensed company. But what I would say is this: currently CBN has been, trying to do a lot of regulations here and there, and now recently they said that new customers are not going to be allowed to register on some of these platforms, Money Point, OPay, and the likes. There are quite many now, and people love them because they, number one, fast payments transactions. Number two, no charges. So an average Nigerian, in fact, most business people just tilt towards them rather than the traditional banks for these reasons. But I'm going to say this, that if you have some kind of money that that if you lose it, it's going to pain you, please start moving it out. Do you understand now? You can use some of these platforms that I've mentioned. There are so many things you can do with your money, but don't sink all your money in OP, in Money Point. If you're doing business, maybe POS business and what have you, you have to learn to take some out. As you're making profit over time, don't just keep everything there. Do you understand now? Because the truth is, you don't know what this government can wake up. Please. They can wake up and just decide that they want to shut all of them down. It can happen. But you know that our traditional banks, of course, they are under CBN directly. So there's still a bit of safety around there. But some of this, I don't know what they call them. There's a name for them. So please, don't just put all your money there because of the returns. I know OP has like an investment. So don't just sink all of your money there, please. Learn to take some out. Go and buy gold and keep. Go and buy whatever you need to buy that can preserve your wealth at the end of the day, please. Don't just sink all your money in OP. I know a lot of people do that, like, no charges. It's very easy to use, but you have to be conscious of your environment as well. Second question, Ponzi scheme. You already called it a Ponzi scheme. So that means there's no guarantee. Anything can happen at any time. I'm aware that a lot of things go around, all in the name of investments, and people enjoy some kind of benefits from some of these schemes. But the thing is this: the day it's going to fail, you will cry. Yes, because if you're putting all your, it's not safe. Let me tell you the story of I've forgotten the name of this company now. It's a crypto platform, one of the exchanges owned by this young guy in America, Sam. I can't remember his name now. So I know of someone online, very educated, is exposed. So I was not expecting that I was going to make that kind of mistake. All of his crypto investments, he was just on that platform. I can't remember the name exactly now. And you can see somebody that is old complaining. It's not like he's a novice. He's very knowledgeable. He said he could not have imagined himself doing that. All of his investments, everything gone. Thank God he has other, investments. But as far as crypto is concerned, everything was wiped out. So it can be that serious. So Ponzi schemes, you already called it Ponzi scheme. You know that this thing is not sure. It can fail. So please, let's try to apply wisdom when we are doing some of these things. And the truth is this: if you know that maybe some of us have money right there, but you're not sure, and then your mind is already telling you that this thing you are doing, it can fail at any point in time, please go and take your money out. If you have that conviction already, go and take your money out so that at the end of the day, you will know that, okay, you did not lose money. Do you understand that? Because I remember when MMM came, it was like It was everywhere, and it was good. People made money, but at the same time, a lot of people lost money. And as in savings that, was, at the end of the day, some people, the stories are just out there, please. So let's be careful with how we manage our investments, money, where we keep our money, and what have you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Just from what you said now, I'm saying that we have to do a class on financial management. And then, yes, we have to do it because I found out that from a little bit of experience I have, most people that are good or renowned investors today, many of them learn to invest, develop the skill for investment over a long period of time. So once you have greed in making early profits, is when you enter into all these Ponzi schemes. So you might even make money from it. But check it. Do your research on people that made money from Ponzi scheme. Check them. Do they still have money today? Go and do your research on people that won lotteries, people that won money from bets, people that did Ponzi scheme. You find out that they never acquired the skill of investing. So when it comes to investments or financial management, financial intelligence, it is the skill that matters most. And it comes by you learning it over the years and then growing your finances over a long period of time. So I will advise that than saying you want to go and do one Ponzi scheme. I have done it before. I've used my example. Okay, I did it once. I can never. There's no way. Nobody can bring me into it again. There's nothing you can use to quote it. I did it. I did. What's his name? Wealth Solution. And there's this one they did in Ibadan then. That's 2006. What's the name? Wealth Solution. Treasure Line. No, I didn't even know. That Pennywise was really very, very ridiculous. But I did Treasure Line because Treasure Line was even registered with SC, was with SEC. Yes, they were registered with SEC. So I felt that, okay, there should be some level of protection. That's why I even did it. So it was the next one I know I was foolish was Wealth Solution. But I did Treasure Line and I put 300,000 naira. 300,000 naira. That's the thing about the value of 300,000 in early 2007. And I didn't get anything. I got nothing. So I can tell you, I know nobody. You see, let me tell you, the day I went to put money in the bank, my spirit sank. I knew God was saying that you are going to lose money. I knew, of course, I was a man of the spirit. But I had plans. I needed money. And the maturity period was 3 months to get 1.2 million. Yes. So I was not thinking, I was just seeing 1.2 million. I was seeing 1.2 million. So my wife was laughing, because then we are not married, we're dating, we're planning for wedding. I had big plans to do business and all that. So I had drawn the chart of how I was going to get. I was looking for about 2 million naira then to invest in a certain amount of business and all the things. But so I had to learn the hard way. So I will not advise anybody that I am leading in any way to go into a point. It doesn't worth it. You rather delay your gratification, cut your appetite, learn financial intelligence, learn how to grow your finances. And that's why Roy Fair taught us today. And we can learn a lot from that. When you are like that, over a while, if you learn that, you eventually have the money. But you don't just have money, you have gathered a lot of wealth of experience and wisdom over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this is going to Bro Obafemi. When transitioning into tech and learning becomes overwhelming and you lose focus, what can you do? When transitioning into tech and learning becomes overwhelming and you lose focus, what can you do?
Thank you, sir. Okay, I want to believe this person is totally new or has not engaged with tech before. Let me start by saying this. Every career phase or every career change has its own rules. Now, if you don't play by the rules, you would arm yourself. Now, the first thing is tech is broad. What exactly are you going to do in tech? You need to understand it. I think Mom did some breakdown there. And now, transitioning into tech, the first thing, one of my first questions to people is, why are you coming into tech? That's one. Two, do you have the tenacity for tech? You need to. Now, okay, I think Bro Efe is also into tech. It does data analytics. Now, the learning phase requires some level of tenacity. That's one. When you have learned and you are then doing and you are even earning money with it, it still requires another level of tenacity. That's the truth. Because if you don't keep up with the pace, you'll be frustrated in just a short while. Because things are changing in that tech you're going. And guess what? Sometimes it's easier to learn okay, let me use this roadmap like a timeline. In 2020, there were tools that were used in data analysis. In 2021, there was a change. In 2022, there's a change. But it might not be easy for you to learn. We're in 2024 now. There are other tools. It might not be easy for you to learn what is being used now. You might have to first learn what was used before now. Now, in learning that, I'm telling you that, honestly, you might feel discouraged because who is going to call you for that? But you need that to have a solid foundation because of where you're going. Except you just want to come into tech for a short while and leave, which is not even advisable. So if you're coming into tech, the first thing is you have to understand. Then another thing is there a correlation between the current career you are moving away from and the new career path you want to go into tech? Because there are some that are like that. So you need to discover, is there an intersection between them? If there is, then all you need to now understand is, that means this tech I'm going into has come to play in this industry I am, or in this career I am. Then check out how it moves. Then another thing is you first want to do your research too. You also want to do your research. You want to research into various people that have gone ahead, that in this career, what did they do? What are the things they... One thing I've discovered is there's no transition that you want to do that potentially has not been done. So you need to do research to figure out, has there been anybody in this kind of industry or this career that moved into tech, and watch out how they transition. That's one. Two, you need to do a lot of self-assessment. I'm a very big person on self-assessment. Self-assessment in a part of your person. I think Mommy has addressed that. Daddy also addressed that to that question. Your person. You need to first assess that. Then come into your skills. What skills do you have? Now, I think the last time we were talking about 3 or 4 categories of how you can itemize your skills. There are skills you are proficient in. There are some that you are manageably good at. And there are some you are nothing at. You need to be honest with yourself. Because if you believe that, let me assume I want to come into UI UX, and because I can just do some manageable things on Canva, I can say, yes, I'm good at graphic design. When you enter UI UX, you realize that graphic design, you don't even know anything. So someone who believes that I have knowledge in graphic design would forget some foundational things to go through, training to go through in coming to UI UX, and will just come and say, okay, as a graphic designer, the next thing is to learn this, then I can come into UI UX, and you go there. And when you get there, you just realize that, what's happening? You are floating. You are not engaging there. So you need to be honest with yourself, and then get templates for this assessment. There are several assessments for self-discovery, skill assessments online. You can get them. Now, I understand that as much as there are resources online, some of us will find them difficult to implement. Look out for people that can assist you in running these things. Okay, I'm finding it difficult to understand myself or to assess myself. I got some template, but I still don't know how to use it. Look for somebody that can help you, engage you. It's called accountability. Draw out those things from you, help you table them, and then it helps you to chart a course. Now, you want to come into tech, you might be thinking of a particular tech. Yeah, I listed some tech things. You are thinking, oh, cloud computing. You said cloud computing is sweet. There's a lot of opportunities there. I can be earning hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. Wow, I think I want to go into that. And after skill analysis, your self-analysis, your past experiences, we are finding it difficult to see you thrive there. It's not worth it. So those two things for me, they are very key in any career transition you want to do. Talk less of tech. I don't know if I answered the question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Prof, you'll be getting up again. This question is, okay, this is threefold. Speaking on investment, please, sir, expound more on business investment beyond personal investment. Okay, speaking on investment, please, sir, expound more on business investment beyond personal investment. For businesses, the second question, for businesses, do you advise long-term or short-term investment? Okay, that's the second one. For businesses, do you advise long-term or short-term investment? Then the third one, are there any online platforms you can recommend? You came late. This person, you came late. Yes. After the love letter we wrote to you on the family page, you came late. Okay, so, Prof.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to try to make it very simple. This is investment 101. We can't exhaust everything here. So hopefully there will be other sessions. So business investment aside personal investment, yes. So I'm going to speak about that a little bit. So the beautiful thing is that many of the startups that we know today started as ideas. Maybe a group of people came together and then they decided to push this idea, and then all of a sudden it grew so big that everybody now, use their products and services and what have you. Number one, a typical example is Paystack. We have MoneyPoint. The guy finished from Ife. Tosin is, I can't remember his name now. Quite a number of them. In fact, I'm looking forward to a point where even in church, we can all pull funds together to support a particular business. It's possible. Especially when you know that this person is doing something unique and has the potential to scale. That is very valid. In fact, the easiest way to make money is through equity from the early stage. When the business has not grown so big, you're just like, okay, look at this person. This person is doing fashion differently. This person has a lot of potential. Oh, yeah, take 1 million. Give me 2% of your company. And then, Facebook, that was how Facebook came to be. And a lot of people have been made billionaires just because of that. So it's very valid. But the challenge is, as much as it can be very valid, there's still the other side of it, the risk. Do you understand? So there's no returns without risk, right? So you just have to consider that critically. Many of these venture capitalists and what have you that, they sink a lot of money into some of these businesses, they look at things critically. Even to the extent that they look at, okay, what happens when we can't recoup some of our investments? Do you understand? So there's a whole lot of things involved. But what I'm going to say is that if you find early stage businesses around you, it might not even be something it might not be the tech thing, that is really common these days. It might be just maybe somebody that has the ability to sell well, can go to Barimu or whichever market, make purchases, and then this person has a lot of customers. For instance, Gillian now. If you have the money, you can support our business because, yes, there is a ready market. And then you tell her that, okay, this is my cut from this investment. You make your returns. Gillian, is it possible? Very possible. So you can invest in other people's businesses aside you having your own personal investments. The truth is this, the more the merrier. When you have a lot of diversification, asset classes, and all of that, your money will just be working for you, and that's the easiest way of creating wealth. So it is valid. The second question has to do with long-term, short-term. Well, it depends on the kind of business that you run. Some kind of businesses need cash flow. Like, you can't afford to just keep money for so long. It depends on the kind of business you're doing, really. For instance, if you're into, I know we do a lot of, excuse me, we have a lot of fashion designers in church. So if you are the type that, you know that maybe you have a lot of money that, you know, over time you've been able to save and what have you, and then you know that you won't be having an immediate need for it. Number one, consider your emergency fund first. That is very important. Your emergency fund should be at least 6 months. Then after that, you can start doing long term. But if you don't have an emergency fund, please don't do long term. Do short term if you're a business owner. So that, you know, when the need arises, for instance, Bravewood has, you have 3 months, you have 6 months, you have 1 year. I would advise that even when you're just starting out, start with a short term. See how it works. See, for instance, when I was going to invest in Bravewood, one thing I did was, okay, put in some amount of money, and then I didn't need the money at some point, but I had to place withdrawal. Let me see how it works. Am I going to get my money back before I sink in a whole lot? Do you understand? So don't start long term first. Try the platform 2 or 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Place your withdrawal. When you get the money and then you don't need it, put it back there. So that's like, you know, applying wisdom. And then at the end of the day, when you know that you have a lot of cash flow and you can set aside a whole lot of money, then you can begin to think long term. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million that you won't have any need for in the next number of years. So that is okay. But make sure that that doesn't affect your business too. Because the moment you can't get cash readily available, then that becomes a problem as well. So it's just, there's no fix to it. Just think about the operational side of your business and how well you can, you know, manage all of these things. You have to put all of that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the other, I think he has mentioned some of those platforms. Thank God there is a recording, so you can go back. Then, of course, the slides will be made available to us. Okay, I didn't receive any more questions, so I suppose that is the last question. Is there any other question? Let me just give us this opportunity. Any other person asking a question? Nobody. All right, please, let's appreciate all our facilitators. Thank you so much, Bro Ife. Thank you so much, Bro Bafemi. Let's also appreciate Mommy, sincerely. You know, yesterday Mommy had to minister in Lagos, and it was a long one. She had to, you know, return that yesterday. You know, she was scheduled to take it, this talk early this morning, but she needed to rest, okay, and she has taken it, and she's out again. Please, let's appreciate her, please. Sincerely, let's appreciate her. And let's appreciate Daddy. Daddy, thank you so much thank you so much. We have this, thank God for God's grace over you, sir, for the opportunity to apply doctrine here. You know, and this is where, you know, many people get to miss it, you know. My wife was telling me about somebody that somehow they got to manage a cold room, a store where they sell frozen foods and all of that. And then the person, okay, was newly employed, started working there, and then on a particular day, she walked in, resumed. Her boss was already there, attending to a whole lot of customers. She went into the store, sat down, had her devotion, took time, prayed, you know, came out, and was surprised that the boss sacked her. And then she was complaining, boy, I thought my boss is a Christian. When you come up, I'm supposed to pray. And you know, and there were customers. Do you understand? In the cold room, people are making orders. Your boss is running here and there, trying to, and the person is saying, I must pray. So she rose up from her devotion with a sack letter. You know, so so you know, thank God for what we are hearing and what we are learning in this place. You know, everything combined is holistic. You can't be in this place, hear words, hear all of this family life, you're a young person, you're not yet married, how to position yourself, you're a business person, you're a career person, you don't have any excuse. You don't have any excuse. Please, let's appreciate Daddy once more, please. Let's appreciate him. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate you. Okay, so very briefly, we'll be out of here. We just need to run, have us informed about one or two things. What we have for us in KBN subsequently is more like a business clinic. Okay, you can call it an open day, or where would have businesses. You come before panels, okay, and then many aspects of your business is going to be examined. Okay, so what we have had today is more like a seminar, but in such occasion is going to be on like a one-on-one. The same way you will get to a clinic to see a doctor and you x-ray your complaints, and then your doctor speaks back, tells you, okay, do this and do that. We are planning such for our businesses. Please, let's appreciate God for that. Yeah, so I'm saying this so that we'll get ourselves ready. It sounds good, but can I say this is going to be a lot of work for any business owner that is going to come through that panel. So if you are serious with your business and you're going to come through, now of course the panel is not to make you do frog jump. No. It's to, okay, what you think you are selling or the service you are rendering, do you really know it? Why are you doing it? And of course, that will graduate into things like marketing. Okay, how are you marketing it? What have you been doing? When we're talking about things like cash flow, financing, what are your records? Okay, if someone wants to invest in your business and it's okay, let's see your records for the last 6 months to 1 year. And you say, sir, this is where I used to write it. Let me go and bring that book. And you can't really compose yourself. How well are you keeping records? And of course, strategy. Do you have strategy? How are you operating? Is it that you just say, now this one they work now? You just start down one. Do you have an operational strategy? And things like that. So a whole lot will be coming in that program. So it's not going to be a one-day thing. It's something we're going to be running as a series. So I'm saying this so that for those of us who are business owners, please prepare yourself. We're going to be demanding a lot from you, sincerely. And the result is that you put in more work in your business to really do very well what your business stands for. Okay, and then Daddy has also given us an assignment right here. He said we're going to have another seminar on financial intelligence. So please prepare your mind. There is likely going to be registration. You're likely going to pay for it. Amen. All right. So you see what you got here? This financing 101 or investment 101. You can see that there's a whole lot to deal with. So when we come saying you should pay 50,000 naira, you'll be ready for it. Are you going to be ready for it? I'm on my own. Okay. So please, there's going to be, of course, we need money to prepare, to get materials ready, to ensure that such occasions are well catered for. All right, so essentially that. Please let's appreciate our pastors, all the associate pastors, and please let's appreciate them. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's rise up and let's share the grace. The grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Please congratulate somebody.